Hello and welcome to episode 1444 of The Sleeper and the Bust. It is Thursday, August 21st. I'm your host, Paul Sporer, joined by my J and J cohorts, Justin and Joe. What's going on, guys?
Been a while, guys. Good to be back in the saddle.
It's been
It's great
entirely
to
too
see you
long.
guys. It finally got hot. It's hot. It
It's
is
been so long that
98 degrees in my office.
it's hot, and B, we have a 2026 draft.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
It's still just August. Never mind, it hasn't been that long to have a 2026 draft, but we do. The Meatball draft conducted by Mr. Rob DiPietro with a lot of fantasy friends, including my buddy Greg, Jenny Butler, Bubba and the Bloom, Ryan Roof, among others. I don't need to name them all, but 11 rounds done now. And again, this counts. It's a standalone league, so we'll get to that when we get to the relievers. There's a huge difference there, so you can't really glean anything about the overall reliever markets because it doesn't play the same. The first one went in the fourth round. But it is a standalone, money, legit league, rife with recency bias. So what we're going to try to do is get around to every position. A fat chance we get them all, but maybe. But I think we're going to have some great discussions here, just kind of going position by position and discussing how it went here, because this is really fun to see what a draft for next year looks like when you still have 6 weeks left on the current season. And again, there's no way not to be infected by recency bias. So do you go around buying all the dips, or do you buy into the hot hitters and all that? Let's start at catcher. Let's start with one of the hottest hitters going this year, of course. Cal Raleigh goes, as the top dog. Not a whole lot of catchers, although I guess I was pretty surprised to see 13 went same as first base, including Samuel Basayo as the last one. So you went Raleigh, William Contreras, Shea Langoliers, Agustin Ramirez, Will Smith, Salvi Perez, Ben Rice, kind of a mix of old and new. Justin, I'll start with you. How'd this catcher group hit you? Because it really kind of goes young, old, all the way throughout.
Yeah, it's a little interesting because catcher is kind of deep.
Yeah.
If you look at this draft,
interesting talent.
I'm kind of excited for the catcher position. Really, really interesting to see Adley so low like that. Like, I understand he's having a down year. Kind of came off a down year last year, but I just believe it's such a good talent that
I know.
I'm shocked to see him as low as he is. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah, because I'm starting to feel it. And I'm a big Adley guy. I want him to be good. I think he's a stud, but I'm starting to
he turns
to
into
agree
a
with
target
this.
at some point, though. If he starts, it's like
no
that's
doubt
where he's going. Like he's gonna be on a lot.
You should say where they're going when you reference it. Ninth round.
Yeah.
So ninth round there. Do you have the picture of the rounds up? If not, because I can name them. Okay, because I can name them too when we start talking about somebody. Joe, let's bring you. Go ahead, Justin.
Even do something really cool and just share that on the screen.
Oh, perfect.
So if people want to go back and look at it on the YouTube, they have that option of doing that. So we're just going to.
So Joe,
boom.
I'll set you up with a question here. When you're looking at it, and let's say you're kind of separating it with let's put Raleigh and William Contreras to the side. You got Langoliers, Ramirez, Rice, Goodman, Drake, Basayo is kind of the new class. Will Smith, Salvi, Adley, I guess he's a veteran-ish. Kirk, they've been around for a little bit more as the older class. Which pool are you more likely to pick out of, the new or old?
That's a good question. I think, without wanting to get caught up in the new cool toy, I want to buy into some of these younger guys. Shea Langoliers, I mean, the injuries have kind of cut short his season a little bit, but man, some of the gains he's made have just been phenomenal this year, specifically cutting down on the strikeouts, exactly going to that ballpark where they're going to be for the next couple of years. I have no problem with Rob paying that 5th round price on him. And Ben Rice, I mean, this is a very sharp room.
Eligibility, yeah.
This is an incredibly sharp room, which I don't know if we've mentioned yet, but this is like a murderer's row of fantasy players.
Absolutely. I didn't even mention everybody, and it wasn't to leave anybody out. Pretty much all the people I didn't mention are better than the people I mentioned. You heard me.
But yeah, like they needed a replacement in the league or something. So who do they get? Like Phil Dussault? Like you got to be kidding me, right? So this is a crazy, crazy tough league. So I
That's like
say that
all-star replacements, right? The one guy goes out and then they just bring up the next elite person.
exactly, and I say that to point out Ben Rice because I don't know if Ben Rice is going to go this high. Like NFBC players are generally pretty sharp, so maybe it's roughly around this range. But if you're just playing in any casual league next year, like Ben Rice is going to be such a big target. If you look at the hard hit data, I said this the other day on Fantasy Pros, you could almost be looking at like Shohei Otani's hard hit data. This guy's like a 17% barrel rate, 56% hard hit rate, catcher eligibility, good ballpark,
So
good
good.
lineup. Everything is working for him. So that combo of Langoliers and Rice, if I can do that myself, 5th and 7th round, that's pretty appealing.
Rice or Goodman?
I think I buy into Rice more. I don't know. Maybe I just turned off of the Rockies in general, but
Sure.
I think it's
I mean,
Rice. It's got, based on the data, I think it's got to be Rice.
Can't go wrong fading the Rockies. Justin, Rice or Goodman?
That's really close for me. I think I lean
I thought
Goodman
so.
here, but I could, with Rice's team construct, I can see that. I just always worry about the Yankees and playing time and like what happens if they bring more guys in. Like what? It just,
I mean, Rice ain't getting squeezed though, dude. He's a stud.
I know for sure. Yeah.
But I like Goodman. I'm torn here between these two, and that's why I brought it up, because I am really torn on answering Rice versus Goodman. I have both this year. Not actually, I do have them on the same team, and Rice ended up getting catcher eligibility, which was great. So I probably take the round of discount and go Goodman, but I'm not going to be upset having either. And those are two guys that, broke out this year that I do plan to stick with. I don't mind buying the dip, and you do have to be careful with the recency bias. You don't want to get too caught up in buying the recent stuff, but I do think both Rice and Goodman, have the talent to continue to be fantasy assets at catcher. So Basayo goes in the last round. Again, this is 11 rounds, going to be a standard 30 rounder. They're going to finish it in January. So it's kind of your last shot before you wait for so much dust to settle when they pick it back up. And so you saw some, a little bit more Hail Mary throws on a few picks, and not even like they're bad, but just like probably a few rounds earlier just to secure that they got their guy in case they rise. And Basayo was the catcher version of that. Justin, start with you. Where do you think Basayo's going to end up going next year? Because of course, he is Baltimore. He is Baltimore. He's the entire city. He's from Baltimore on the Orioles there, and they have Adley. That said, he's also not a defensive stud, so maybe first base. What do you think about Samuel Basayo with the Orioles next year?
That's a really, really tough question. I think it really depends on how Basayo finishes out this year, right? And does Basayo have catcher eligibility heading into 2026?
Because he's up and not catching right now.
Well, yeah. I gotta say, there was a report today that Adley's going on the IL, and that Basayo is going to take over behind the plate.
There you go. And he did catch. Actually, he caught his last 2 games. Excuse me. He's caught 2 of his 3. So pardon me on saying he's not catching. He caught 2 of 3. Basayo did, and Adley going to the IL. He got injured on Tuesday. They didn't play Wednesday. He's out of the lineup today. That's one of the two games. Sorry, today's lineup for Basayo. So how's that change your mind then, Justin? Let's say he has catcher eligibility for Basayo. I'm not holding you on the 11th round thing, because again, I think that's probably taking a little bit of a shot there to get your guy. But do you like him next year as somebody we're taking in those teens rounds area?
Maybe. It's really going to depend on how he finishes and what does the hit tool look like at the major league level. If he's striking out at a 30% rate, I'm gonna have a really hard time buying into it in that park. It feels expensive, but I also need to look at the rest of the pool and see, like, hey, maybe that is like the end of a tier and there's a massive drop off.
Right. Joe, any final thoughts on catcher before we head over to first base?
Well, one thing I want to just mention, Cal Raleigh, do you guys think that he will slip into the first round in some leagues? Just
in some first rounds, yes.
Back end,
number one player. I mean, plays even when he's not catching. He's in the lineup almost every day,
which is beautiful. But this is a dream season. Do not take him in the first round. It's a terrible idea, and I love Cal Raleigh. It's a terrible idea.
I think it's a bad idea too. But if you are banking on like 600 plate appearances, 40 homers, hitting 240 with some speed, decent,
I can see how you get there. Like I truly can. Like, because you're getting that sort of. And again, even if you're not thinking it's 47 102, if you're comfortable with the downside being 34 100 with 6 steals and a 220, which is what he was last year, And again, if you're comfortable with that kind of being something that maybe not even your downside, but very much on the table, okay, then take him, right? And hope that it's more 2025 than 2024. But that is the downside. That downside is still there. I don't know that Raleigh has fundamentally changed himself to eliminate that as a downside. That's why I'd have a tough time with one of the first 2 rounds.
That's fair. So even in the second for you, you wouldn't take him?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'm probably going to fade Raleigh off the big season. Catchers, 600,
man. 600 plate appearances is, more than 600 plate appearances from a catcher, though. That is a lot. And
can you? Is it bankable though? If you can guarantee it for me, I would tell you this: I would take him in the first round. I would take Raleigh in the first round if we lived in a world where you could say he's guaranteed 600 minimum. Where do you take him? But I can't get guaranteed that, and being catcher puts you in the line of fire all the time.
He had 628 last year.
Yeah, I mean he is the horse. He is the number one guy. You're not going to get me
I think the question becomes
push back
what
there.
do you think of the batting average?
Right, and I think it's bad, and I think it will.
It's definitely a construction issue in terms of, hey, your second pick can't be a pitcher, right?
I'm spamming average at that. Literally the next 3 picks. I'm going pitcher in the 5th round at that point. Yeah. I'm going 3 offensive average foundational pieces to go around Raleigh. In case he hits that 220, then I can at least eat it. So yeah, I can create a construction where I could really get myself jazzed up and want to do it, but I really think you need to protect for a 220. Because then the volume hurts you.
Yeah.
Then you can't say, oh, it's a catcher who doesn't even play that much. No, it's the catcher with the highest volume hitting 220. So yeah, I can see it, especially in the second round, if you really are dedicated to the construction. Because maybe you take the first baseman to start. You go Vlad Jr. Raleigh at the wheel or something. That could be a compelling start there to lay that batting average foundation. And he still, of course, has power upside while Raleigh brings the power that Vlad hasn't necessarily shown. Then Kurtz, second round, obviously the number one guy that we have to talk about at first base. We had a discussion about where he would go, and here he goes, second round, 17th pick. Joe, I'll start with you on Nick Kurtz before we get into the rest of first base. What'd you think of the pick?
I don't hate it. I mean, my first thought is it feels a little expensive. It feels at least a little expensive.
It's expensive, right? Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy with 300 at-bats in the show as the 17th overall pick. I get it. I fully get it. In the second half, his OPS is 1,300. He's been phenomenal. And he's not even he's not even a home park merchant. He has a better batting average away from home. He's hitting 327 on the road with 10 homers.
Wait till he learns how to leverage that park.
So, I mean, I don't really have
Kurtz is nuts. Now he's leading off, too, by the way. Sorry to keep interrupting you, but now he leads off. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't have a big problem with it. The main thing for me is the strikeout rate being at 30%. But he only has a 20% O swing or 21% O swing. 12% swinging strike rate. So that's probably something you can project to go down a little bit. And the projections we have on Fangraphs are a little bit lower than that. So I don't have a huge problem with it. But you also, just speaking of factoring in batting average, there's a universe where Nick Kurtz is hitting 250. Yeah, exactly. So I think people view him as Vladdy light, but Vladdy has much better plate discipline. Vladdy, for me, is far and away the better pick here. I think there could be a bigger gap between them.
I couldn't agree more with that, especially from the batting average side of it. Kurtz's power is more displayed. We've already seen, more even in this 362 plate appearances. But I would take the average foundation and get the power elsewhere. Justin, you made the big bid on Kurtz. You've benefited from it in Fab this year. You paying that big premium next year, second round. And if not, where would you go for Kurtz comfortably?
I don't think I can.
Just a little too spicy?
It is just a little bit too spicy for a guy who has a 266 XPA and a below 80% zone contact. I love the park. I love him as a power hitter, but second round is just way too risky when you're passing up on elite safe talents. And so for me,
safer.
Safer. I want a guy who is going to just have a better overall hit tool at that point. So I'd probably have him as a fourth rounder. Obviously, I haven't done my projections. It might end up being a third rounder, but I can't imagine he's in the second round for me.
It's tough. And I've definitely been caught up in a player performing. I had a solo pod one time where I talked myself into Todd Frazier going like 40-25 and then being like a second round pick the following year. It was hilarious. And I don't know what drugs I was on, but I wish I could get more of them because it was pretty sweet. But yeah, so, like I can get being hyped. And this was during the year when he was having this crazy breakout, by the way. Todd Frazier used to be like a fantasy god with sneaky speed, folks. But anyway, this is kind of getting caught up. Second round, that's just too high. I can't get comfortable with that when Alonso's going same round a bit later, and then you're talking about like Freeman and Harper. By the way, I put Devers, his coloring puts him at first. Is he more valuable there than third? Because J-Ram, Caminero, Jazz, Manny, Devers.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe first is a little bit weaker than third off first look.
I guess he would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He'd be sixth here. He's the fifth third baseman. He'd be the sixth first baseman.
Who's the player we're talking about right now?
Devers, excuse me. Because he's colored on the board as a first baseman. I just took him as third base because that's what I just put in my head. And I think maybe there is a fair question of where is he more valuable?
I think first base is a little bit deeper. It depends on, I think, the size of the league here. So, like,
sure.
When you're talking about like first base, like you've got Christian Walker really far down. Like, are we not liking a buyback on a guy like that?
He didn't even get picked, right, in the first, in the top 11, which I understand. But to your point, that's pretty hot. Who are some of the third basemen that didn't get drafted? Can you think of any just looking at it? I know that's putting you on the spot because I can't think of any.
I'm not looking at the sheet. I'm looking at the player rater right now. Like,
that's a good idea. We'll pull that up.
Like Matt Shaw is one that might be an interesting buyback.
Popping off.
I'm assuming Colt Keith wasn't drafted in this draft.
Wasn't.
He wasn't. Was Paredes drafted?
No.
So, I mean, there's going to be some good options for anybody.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely agree there. Okay, but anyway, so let's get, we're not really in on the Kurtz price point there. Alonso, Harper, Freeman just kind of live in this same area. Maybe they're moving up, down a little bit, but they're kind of the ironclad. I would even put Olsen in that sort of grouping where, he's a steady Eddie. Now, he is a bit further behind them because Freeman, Harper, Devers all go in the third round. No first baseman go in the fourth, and then Olsen in the fifth with Naylor and Pasquantino. I feel like Olsen is a cut above them. Am I overhyping Olsen, Joe?
I'm a big fan of Naylor. I don't know that I think that Olsen over Naylor is a slam dunk at this point.
Okay.
I think that it's a reasonable conversation. And I think if you miss out on Olsen, if Olsen is going higher, then Naylor feels like a really good fallback option for first base.
Justin, can you... Oh, sorry. I was going to bring Justin in on this to talk up some Vinny P. He's been a huge fan in the past. I don't know where you stand these days. Where does he fit in this mix with Olsen and Naylor?
He quietly is actually really turned his season around after
high key. Nice, right?
Yeah,
four straight to the homer, 4 straight games,
and he's shown the power. The hit tool has been great. I think he deserves to be in this conversation. At first thought, I was like, oh, that seems weird. He shouldn't be mentioned with Naylor and Olsen, but maybe he should. I think he's just got such a good pure swing.
I'm gonna guess that Joe knows this, so you can't answer yet, Joe. Justin, how many steals Josh Naylor got?
How many steals does Josh Naylor have? Okay, off the top of my head, I'm gonna say 7.
22.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
That's where Joe would win the argument here, because I was gonna come back on you with Olsen just being a better hitter. But when you're talking about better batting average for Naylor by 12 points, that's not nothing, 282 to 270, which I think is bankable too. I've always liked him for batting average. And then the 22 steals, even if I don't know how bankable that is, but I wonder if this is if double digits is bankable, because then that's still 10 more. Like Olsen's not going to run. So any advantage that you're getting is closing the power gap that Olsen might have over Naylor. So no, you sold me. I'm in. Naylor tops out of this trio here. And then as you keep going, you get into the group of okay, they did some stuff this year that brought some attention. Where do we go from here? Wilson Contreras, who's now only first base only, of course. Tyler Soderstrom, Spencer Torkelson, Jonathan Aranda. And I guess Yandy Diaz has been the steady batting average asset, the weird first baseman, if you will. Justin, what do you make of this quintet here? Wilson Contreras, Tyler Soderstrom, Spencer Torkelson, Jonathan Aranda, Yandy Diaz. Any of them jump out to you as a significantly good value one way or the other?
I mean, I like all these guys, so like you're not going to get really any complaints from me here.
Is this where you're shopping for first base, or is this where you're shopping for corner?
Probably where I'm going to end up shopping for first base is be my guess. Like unless I land Vlad Guerrero Jr. or somebody in that one of these upper tiers falls to me, like I feel like this is probably my landing spot for first base here.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. This is a fun group. I think there's some upside baked in with most of the group. Maybe not Wilson Contreras getting a little older, although maybe not going to age as fast now that he's off of catching. And then Yandy, you always dream, anytime he can even flirt with 20, he is a stud as long as you plan for the power. That's another build. What about him with Raleigh? Put Yandy in a Raleigh bid because Raleigh's excess homers kind of make up. Now, you don't want to go too far with that because then you're kind of wasting the excess homers and you're funneling them all over to Yandy, so to speak. So you still want some power supporting Raleigh, but I think he could be a good fit there is what I'm saying, Yandy with a Raleigh build. But anyway, let's keep moving on here. Let's go to third base instead of, around the diamond as it is, because there's corner guys here and there'll be some guys that go both ways like Devers. So it's J-Ram, Caminero, Jazz, Manny, Devers as the top 5, and then Riley, Bregman, and Westberg. Now, I'm going to start with Westberg just because I want the gentleman who, basically sold me on him to breathe easy. I ain't going to come for your throat on any level. If you're nervous because he's only played 73 games, he's been great. Honestly, I think the sale was a success. He sold me on how good Jordan Westberg is, and if he had been healthy, he'd have paid off brilliantly. You can basically, soft double these numbers, and you're talking, 30 bombs right there with a 276 average. So I guess then I would ask you, Justin, because you weren't sold by the case made. I was. I bought in. Again, I've loved what I've gotten. I just haven't gotten enough of it. Where do you stand now, 73 more games under Jordan Westberg's belt?
I'm still worried about the overall profile. Still not a great in-zone hitter. He does have more power than I think I gave him credit for. But we also have to start talking about, like, hey, this is 2 straight seasons where he's missed a good amount of time.
Sure.
And will he be able to compile the way he needs to return the value of where he's going? That's, I think, where I'm going to have my biggest questions.
Not unfair. However, at least for me, that's creating some of the value for me because I'm gonna take my shot on the health and I try to bet on it, right? Like wish cast it a little bit. I'll freely acknowledge that. But where Jordan Westberg goes, I'm okay with that. It's the 5th round. It's not cheap. I'm not pretending he's like some, free guy or anything. But I think of a fully healthy season, if he had gone, let's say he goes like, 30, 90, and I know doubling the RBIs wouldn't have been 90. It would actually be only 68. But let's say it would have been a better season for Baltimore. Let's say he does like the 30, 90. He'd have gone in the 3rd round. And I still think that talent is there. He's 27 next year. Oh, magic 27 year. Surely that's going to sell you, Justin. He's magically 27 next year. He's guaranteed to go 30, 100. Joe, where were you on Jordan Westberg coming in the year? Because Justin and I had a big debate. Actually, we didn't. We started off very much on the same page. I got sold by a listener on him. Again, no regrets. What about you with Jordan Westberg?
Where did I come in to the year on him is a good question. Let me just pull it up real quick. I think I was like relatively in. I had him as my number 6 second baseman, so I was like relatively in on him.
Yeah, that's in. And then how has your outlook evolved? Are you concerned like Justin about the injuries that are starting to pile up? Or
I think that's something we have to at least consider. Like he went back on the IL a couple days ago. He's got an ankle problem. He's had finger problems this year, hamstring, his hand last year, hip. There's been a few different problems with Westberg. The offense as a whole has underperformed. You could argue that that's something that's going to turn around, but I don't know if that's 100% a guarantee. Maybe
the offense meaning you mean the entire team?
Yeah, the team as a whole.
Oh, yeah. No, I buy the dip on them as a ball club. This is classic young team trying to establish themselves with the rise, the dip, and then the rise back. Like you got to kind of have that little fall there. and then you rise back up if they can put the pitching together. But I think the offense will be fine next year.
You want to see the craziest thing with him, though? The different amount of plate appearances and everything from this year, last year, 107 games versus 73. His walk and strikeout rates are exactly the same, 4.9 and 21.7. That's hilarious. You never see that.
No, not that sharp too to the decimal for Jordan Westberg. So again, feel pretty good about where he's at talent wise. We do need some volume, obviously, but a guy I would still buy in the 5th round. I'm not scared off of him. From there, it's a 2-round gap. So that 5th round, you get the 6th and 7th clear, and then you get into your kind of shots thrown here. Michael Garcia, Eugenio Suarez, Noelve Marte, Matt Chapman, Addison Barger. So 3 young and 2, older but upsidey guys like Suarez and Chapman who can still mash that big 30-plus homer season. Justin, back to you here on this quintet. How do you like this end group at third base?
I'm sorry, say the names again.
Starting with Michael going down. Michael Garcia, Eugenio Suarez, Noelve, Matt Chapman, and Addison Barger.
I'm a huge fan of Garcia. I kind of wonder if he's being overlooked here a little bit.
Pretty good season, huh?
Yeah, it's a great season. It's a really good hit tool. There's speed. There's enough pop. Like
classic Sporer here early.
Yeah, me too. I like him a lot here. Chapman dealing with injuries, and is the age starting to show a little bit here.
Yeah.
And then I really like Barger. Like Barger just is a StatCast darling that I think is going to turn into a stud.
Could not agree more. Love this pick. Frankly, Rob, nice pick. You also got Jacob Marcy. Oh man, Rob. He also is one that got Ben Rice. This happens so often, and I'm not just gassing Rob up to gas him up. This is just straight truth. Find so many boards where I'm looking, I'm like, I freaking love this team. I love it. Oh my God, I love this guy. And it ends up being Rob. I cannot tell you how many times I end up loving like 6-7 guys that Rob's on. So like, I love this. This Marcy Barger finish is amazing. Frankly, I'm surprised Barger didn't go earlier though, because Justin, as you point out, StatCast God, young player for Toronto who's been instrumental in their rise. I think this dude's got 35 homer power. Now, it might not come next year, but the fact is we don't know exactly, there's no timer for it. So you got to kind of bet on the guy and hope that it's next year. But I think a little tweak in his plate skills, and this dude can absolutely take off and be like a 270, 30 type guy. Joe, Blue Jay, this means you know everything about him. Addison Barger, is he a god?
Yeah.
Oh, don't say it like that. What the hell?
He's gonna be a great player, I think. He's really, really, really cooled off, and we're kind of seeing some of the flaws as of late. But I think
I like that, by the way, though. Sorry to interrupt you. I want the price to come down because I got to get him. So bring this down a little bit. Let people think, oh, it was just a fluke. No. This is just rookie stuff. Well, I know he's not a fluke. Rookie last year. No, yeah. I don't think his success was a fluke.
No, so it's not a fluke. It's not.
Continue on Barger.
But I don't know that he is going to be a 35 home run guy next year. I think the price that is paid right here is reasonable, but I don't know that I would go like a ton higher. This is pick 160 something overall. I think maybe you go up until like 120, 130 at
153,
ups.
Right?
Is that what it was? 153.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's fine. Like I don't have any problem with it. But if Addison Barger becomes a top 100 guy, I don't think I could get there.
Top 100 is tough because I do like him, and I am excited. My classic guy that I like to say I'm excited to overdraft him next year. But I don't think he's dynamic enough in fantasy to be doing any of that. I'm with you there because the batting average is still a risk. I think he can be a 270 guy. That's when everything's going, though, right? Like he's going to need to tighten up the strikeouts or be a little bit more patient, one or the other, if not both, right? So. Yeah.
The lineup is also, I think, a big question mark. We're having Toronto offensively as a top 3 team this year, which I can't even believe those words are coming out of my mouth.
Isn't that nuts?
But Bo Bichette is probably going to walk.
Right.
We've had a lot of career type seasons. Like Tyler Heineman, the backup catcher, has 1,000 OPS, which is just like it's ridiculous.
Those magic backup catcher seasons are always fun.
Ernie Clement having a great year. Nathan Lucas down the line. It seems like everybody's had a great year.
Yeah.
That happened another year. Does George Springer have this in him again? Another year older. So I feel like the lineup as a whole could come down, and we're not going to see a top 3 offense again in 2026. That I'd bet my life on.
That I definitely agree with, because I don't think they're going to like revolutionize it So it's going to be incumbent upon these guys to do some of this stuff again, and they're not going to.
Without Bo, it's going to be rough. It's going to look ugly without Bo.
Yeah, especially because I don't think Springer can do that. Like, I just think this is
No.
the phrase "dead cat bounce" is so mean and like graphic imagery, but it kind of feels like that, where it's like, oh, one last kind of hurrah. Not that I think he falls off next year and he's like terrible, but I think he kind of goes back to being average. So yeah, that could be tough. So yeah, I think your main point, your first point, that Barger's pick at 153, pick round 11, pick 3, is fine. He didn't necessarily have to go higher. Now, his pick before that, and I know it's an outfield, but since it's the same player with Rob picking Marcy, Justin, who do you like more, Marcy or Barger?
I mean, they kind of do different things. It's really a
right. But who would you draft more? Like, let's say both had been available at that 11th pick there, where he took Barger, and he can only pick one. Who are you taking? Regardless, let's say your team construction is balanced. You just need a good player.
I think I'm going Marcy here.
Yeah, me too. Joe?
I think the upside is just too good.
Agreed.
I think I am too. Like, oh my God.
Speed.
The numbers we usually look at is a 96% zone contact, 11% O swing, 4% swinging strike rate. Like, this is a wet dream right here. Like, this is,
yeah.
You can't even, I don't even have words for it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm so giddy about Marcy. And Barger just doesn't bring that speed element. All right, let's continue. Let's go to the hellscape that is second base. Holy shit, guys. This is terrible. First off, the King is under fire right now. I don't know if you guys heard about this stuff with Ketel Marte, like fending off rumors that he's not a team player, and then Perdomo's coming to get his back in the middle of Lovolo's press conference and stuff. So things kind of getting off the rails there. It ends up being a lost season here for the Diamondbacks. That was a team I really liked. I thought they had enough talent to do a lot this year, and it never came together. They can never really get the pitching going the right way with like Zach Gallen and them. But anyway, he leads the charge here. He's a second round pick. Then you get a 2-round gap to Altuve. He's still kicking. Is he even going to be second base eligible? Did he play some second base when they had injuries?
Yeah, I think he's got enough. Let me
okay.
See. I'm not 100%.
Oh, yeah, 45. No, you're good. Yeah, he's split 50-50. 45 in left, 45 in second base. Okay, so Altuve is the number 2 guy. And then it's a almost 4-round gap. You get all of the 6th. Actually, a lot of the 5th, all of the 6th, all of the 7th, all of the 8th, and all but one pick of the 9th. Final pick of the 9th round, Bryce Terang goes. Then Jackson Holliday, Luke Keeschel, who I really love, Ozzy Albies, and Lenine Sosa. Justin, let's start with you. Second base. What the hell is this shit?
I think it is the time where you need to prioritize second base a hell of a lot earlier than you should normally. I think this is clearly going to be one of the weakest positions in fantasy in 2026.
In recent memory.
Yeah, it's
stinks.
really, really bad. We're talking about Lenyn Sosa going this early in a draft. Like, that is...
Hey, don't let the Lenyn Sosa heads hear you saying that, bro. They'll eat you. Lenyn Sosa's super fans are crazy.
I'm going to push back on you guys. I'm going to push back on you guys a little bit here with second base.
Nah, it sucks. Shut up.
At the top, it is dog shit. In this range, I don't really want anything to do with it, but I do think Bryce Terang is being really disrespected at the end of the 9th. He's the number 1 guy.
He always is.
No, this is always 2 years, but yes, this is the second straight year where he is being disrespected, and I contributed to the disrespect coming into this year. I will freely admit that. I took another L on him, and Justin did continue to promote him, and I'm like, no, I don't think so. So yeah, I think
you know what he does, right? He makes a lot of zone contact.
He does. I've actually been singing the praises of zone contact for a while now. I have been. So it's a good thing that I kind of put that out there, that zone contact is something to pay attention to, because I have been paying the most attention to it.
So let me push back a little bit here and see what you guys think.
Wait. Is your pushback going to be that the second basemen that haven't been drafted yet are the good ones?
I think the position is not deep at the top. It's lacking in star power, but it's not lacking in depth. I don't think. And I'll start off with a guy like Cedane Rafaela, who I don't believe was drafted here, unless we.
Oh, okay, wait. He was. So here's the thing. I couldn't contend with multi-positional guys.
There's a lot of guys who are eligible in other places.
Okay, I missed it.
Michael Garcia.
Right.
Is he second base eligible?
Yeah.
Okay. So then there is some more depth there. But again, I didn't have an easy way.
This is going to be part of the problem, right? Because other people will draft them for other positions too.
True.
Right. And
exactly.
So, you can drown this pool really, really fast. If some people start taking, some of these guys and slotting them in other places.
Raphael is a great one, Joe. Continue with him and the rest of your point there because, with positional eligibility, there is more depth than what I wrote down.
Just like, I don't know, even the Gleyber Torres didn't get drafted, and he's having a really good year. I don't think Marcus Semien didn't get drafted.
He did not.
Bryson Stott. I mean, Ernie Clement is multi-positional, but also I believe will qualify. I think he'll qualify pretty much everywhere. Colt Keith, Matt McLean on the buyback.
Brandon Lau did his thing. Let's talk Matt McLean.
I mean, there's a lot of decent. Jonathan India on a decent little buyback. Brooks Lee, Luis Rengifo. I mean, I don't really like paying up for them, but if you're waiting, Nick Gonzalez, maybe Hai-Sung Kim gets more playing time. Like there's some decent names. I'm not saying it's great, but if you wait and take 2 or 3 of those guys I just mentioned, I can definitely live with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
There will be some emergence from that group too. So if you land on the right ones, I can easily see it. It can definitely work out. I don't disagree there. Let's talk Matt McLean. Big Matt McLean fan. This guy right here, but he hasn't done anything. I mean, it's been tough now at this point, right? Obviously missed all of last year with the injury, and then this year's been a washout. Go ahead, Joe. You're going to say something?
Well, he's not even starting anymore. Like, he's their backup second baseman.
It's been terrible. 74 WRC plus.
I don't even know what to make of it anymore. Like, the numbers looked pretty decent earlier in the year. Like, okay, the barrel rates were decent. The hard hit rates looked all right. And now it's a 6.6% barrel rate, 39 hard hit. They have really plummeted throughout the season.
So then where are we going next year, Joe, with Matt McLean?
I don't
You buy
know.
the dip?
I don't know 100% what to make of him, but I also think that his price is going to be non-existent next year, especially if you are playing in home leagues. He'll be a
post
last round pick.
20th. Okay, yeah, we're talking bottom of the barrel then.
But even if we're talking about like NFBC leagues, I cannot see him going inside of the top 200 picks or even maybe 250. And I think at that point, you got to take a chance on him. Still
Justin,
in that ballpark, still young. What do you think?
You paying that, Justin, for Matt McLean, age 26 next year?
Yeah, if he's going that low, I'll have a lot of Matt McLean. I absolutely will.
I will too, by the way.
He will be a target for me. The underlying numbers are pretty much in line where they were in 2023. A little bit dip in the barrel percentage, but that's really about it. We may have overrated what we thought Matt McLean was going to be, but he shouldn't be going outside the top 200 picks.
No, I think that's he's probably a bit overrated. Again, absolutely part of that. Bought into 2023, figure healthy, let's go. But I'm gonna buy the dip. I'm absolutely buying the dip here on McLean. Yeah, I think you make a solid point about some of the depth here. I will say somebody that we didn't talk about that did get drafted here. I'm really big on the Luke Keeschel train. Where are you guys coming out on this young rookie from Minnesota? He's getting a lot of PT now. He kind of got off the ground and then got hurt. So he's probably been around the block in a lot of fantasy leagues because of the injuries. So we don't have a lot of sample. He's going to play out the rest of the year and hopefully continue to rake. But in 86 plate appearances, it's been amazing. You can't make much of it because, 387 BABIP and all that. He's going sky high. But Justin, I really like Luke Keeschel. Second base eligible, great plate skills. I think this dude could be a stud.
So Luke Keeschel reminds me a lot of Marcus Semien. In terms of, if he can stay healthy, right? Like
with more speed.
Yes, with more speed. So maybe Semien isn't the right call, but it's a really good hit tool. I don't think that there are necessarily a ton of other huge carrying traits in Keeschel's profile, but I do think that he is a really good pure hitter who can walk. And that will always get you playing time as long as your defense doesn't cost you. So my biggest question is, will the defense cost him? And then will he be able to stay healthy enough to compile? Because I do think this is more of a compiler's profile, but one that could be really, really good and really, really interesting if he's playing full time and staying on the field.
Joe, Luke Keeschel, looking like a stud right now. Obviously has, another 6 weeks to kind of put some more numbers up. It's a tiny sample, even if you extrapolate these numbers for 6 more weeks, right? So where you at on him? Justin brings up the defense being problematic. Not wrong about that, but I do think Minnesota can commit to him. Do you like Luke Keeschel?
I like him, but I don't think I like this price a ton in the top 10 rounds. And a lot of it comes back to the supporting cast. Because like Justin mentioned, he's probably going to be more of a compiler. And my God, Minnesota's lineup is looking horrific right now. I don't know what they're going to look like heading into next season, but if he is a guy that you kind of need to depend on racking up the runs and RBIs, if the supporting cast is the likes of, no shade, but the Cody Clemens, the Trevor Larnacks, the Brooks Lees of the world, hitting in the 2 through 5 spots.
Whoa, flag on the play. You just hyped up Brooks Lee as potential second base depth.
As somebody that you can take as a deep sleeper type, not like as a foundational number 3 hitter in a lineup. That's where I should specify.
They got some work to do, and I don't know how they're going to approach it. That is a very fair question in Minnesota. Still got Buxton, Matt Wallner, Rakes. I still think Royce Lewis. I'm not quitting that train. Still got 10 more years on that train minimum. The people that held on with Joe Adell, it worked. I do like Lee and Larnach. You don't want them to be your 2-3, but yeah, we'll see. The counter to that, though, is that Keeschel could play a ton. Yes, the counting numbers might be down from a pure from a per plate appearance standpoint, but maybe he just gets there by raw volume because he gets 700 plate appearances. So pluses and minuses there. I can understand pushing back a little bit on the price point.
I could see Keeschel turning into a number 1 or number 2 hitter on this team.
I totally could.
Probably should be.
Yeah. I mean, dude can walk.
He should bat 2.
He absolutely should bat 2. They should move Larnach down to 4. And in that kind of scenario, we might be looking at a guy who could really, really compile the runs scored. It's not going to be a great lineup in Minnesota necessarily because of everything that's going on there financially. They're not going to add though. So if you're drafting early, before free agency or as free agency is going on, I don't think you have to worry about Keeschel losing his job because they brought someone else in.
I'd be surprised.
I think it's his job to run with.
They're committing to the young team that they have here, as is. Buxton's going to be the only guy over 30, and that's what they want to do. So yeah, I like Luke Keeschel.
Buxton can have another healthy season. That's another whole thing.
Do we think he can? Yeah. Would I bet on it? Of course, I wouldn't bet on it. I would need crazy odds because you can't. But I am pulling for it. I absolutely am, but it's still not a 100-game season yet. It's 94.
He's only got 403 plate appearances, so
let's
407 after today.
We're still not even there yet. But to his credit, he's put up a season 25-18 already.
It's the second most of his career. 407 is the second most of his career. It's
crazy. It's crazy work. All right, let's keep going here. There's no shot we're going to get through every position, but let's maybe try to finish out the infield, and maybe we can reconvene earlier. Well, no, we can just save it till next week. This is not going to get old, at least not to me. I still would want to talk about it next week. So let's go to shortstop here. Or did you guys have any final thoughts on the Keystone, second base? Final thoughts?
So.
All right. To shortstop we go, and it is a much different story. It is rich in talent. With what do you got there? 1, 2, 3 in the first round, 3 in the second round, 1, 2, 3 in the next 2 rounds combined. They're going all over the place. So you got Bobby Witt Jr., Ellie, Gunnar, Lindor, Trey Turner, Zach Neto, and that's where we're gonna stop. Zach Neto to Ryan Venancio, paired him with Corbin Carroll. I kind of like that combo. It's interesting, right? If you could get 1,200 plate appearances, it's really interesting. If you get stuck with, 700, it's a different story, but that's the case with anybody. Justin, I got to start with you on Zach Neto. It's the guy you've been liking.
I love him.
Yeah, love him.
I don't know if there was anybody who was as big of a Neto fan as I was coming.
You found him. You found him right here. Second round. Can you get there with Neto?
I mean, on the surface, it is shocking. It is. I mean, when we were discussing this prior to air, I mentioned to you that that's shocking to me. I don't know that it's wrong though. That's the thing is You know he's going to play every day. You know that the Angels are going to run, so the stolen bases aren't going anywhere. He's healthy now. As long as he finishes the season healthy, I think this is kind of right. I mean,
He
I don't know
just
if
went
I would pull
20-30.
it. Yeah, and he's about to go 30-30, and that's insane. And
Now wait, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you pull the trigger? This is your guy. You love this guy.
It just feels weird. I mean, once I do my projections, and if it comes out to that, like, I'll have no problem pulling the trigger. But it just, looking at it prior to running projections, it just feels weird, man. Like, this is a guy that I was getting outside the top 15 rounds at points.
Right, and part of that is because of the injury. Not that he would have rocketed it up.
A lot of it was due to injury.
Probably like a 5-6 round discount, but that's still only 9th, 10th round. It's not second round. So Joe, Zach Neto has ascended into the second round. He's 8 steals away from a second straight 20-30 season. Are we paying this premium? Are you up there? Even if it's not straight up second round, do you like second, third round for Neto? Can you pay that?
I think I can. The only thing that would keep me off of it maybe is, like you mentioned, that shortstop is really deep, and I wouldn't feel the need to pay up for that position. He'd have to be like the best player available on the board, and that, I think, is where the question comes in. Is Zach Neto going to be a top 20 fantasy player? He can be. I don't know. I don't have a huge problem with it, but I don't know that I would love to pay this price at the same time. I think I don't know. Just looking at the way that the board ended up going, would I have taken him over Acuna? Probably not. Would I take him over James Wood, over Marte? I think there's a couple guys you could definitely make the case for him for, but if it's like a third round valuation, I think that's where I could probably get behind it.
What about Neto versus Abrams?
I'll take Neto there pretty easily, I think. I've never been a big Abrams guy, though.
Justin, you have. So you got two of your guys pitted against each other here. Neto versus Abrams for you. Abrams went early third, about 7 picks later.
I think you have to go with Neto here, even though, like, I think it's really close.
Because he's put the numbers up?
Wait, say it again?
You're saying you have to go with him because he's put the numbers up? Like, it's not
the
just
power,
what he
the power
could do?
difference. Like, you can get that. Like, what Abrams does is steal bases, right? Like, he's okay in batting average, but, like, he has batting average downside. The previous 3 seasons, he's been pretty much a 245, 246 hitter. You know, this year he's at Abrams is at 267.
That's the exact same trend that Neto's had, though. 249 last year, 267 this year.
Neto doesn't have a long enough track record for us to nail down what he is as a hitter necessarily.
That's also true. It's only a second.
You've just got a longer
year.
track record for Abrams. So, like, I think the downside on Abrams' batting average could be a little bit lower. I think it's probably the same, but I think the real difference is the power. Neto's power is more substantial, and that's harder to get later on in the draft. Whereas you can get this. I mean, we were just talking about Jacob Marcy's picked up off a waiver wire.
There's empty steals.
There's
everywhere.
always going to be stolen bases places. It's not as easy to get the power, and so I think for that reason alone, I'm going to go Neto here. But it's close.
Yeah, I think they're an interesting duo there, and then Turner ahead of them. You know, just to do that one real quick, because that's kind of like an older version of Neto, isn't it, Justin? Turner.
I think so. Yeah.
Do you stick with the older version, or would you go Neto there straight up?
That is a really good question.
Because they went back-to-back picks, Trey Turner and Zach Neto.
I mean, I definitely think this is a tier. I think the question is, what do you value more, the batting average or the power? And
team context
and the
too.
team context too. Because I mean, Turner's going to have well over 100 runs scored in Philadelphia. So I think I might lean Turner there, but you also want to account for the age. Turner's 32. Like, he's going to be entering his age 33 season next year. So, like, maybe the safer bet is Neto, who's also got more upside, you know, in terms of his overall individual performance. Obviously not team construct, but
6 years younger, or 8 years younger, excuse me.
To me, like, I'll take whoever's still left on the board when it gets to me. Like,
that's totally fair.
I'm not going to be upset if I get there and I have to choose, because I don't think you can go wrong.
No, I like the Turner Neto debate. Turner, Neto, Abrams, that trio right there, I think signifies a dip then, because then you're going Betts, Pena, Seager after that. Seager's still awesome, but he doesn't run. Then Adames, then a 3-round lull at that point before they're coming back around to Bichette, Edwards, Dansby, Perdomo, Jacob Wilson, and Tovar. Joe, shortstop by far the most plentiful position drafted on the infield. And to that point, you mentioned the depth earlier might take you off of some of these earlier picks. How do you view the depth in total? Like after that 3-round gap, what do you think of that group, Bichette to Tovar?
I mean, I'm a huge Bichette guy. I think this is, again, too big of a discount like we saw last year. I get it why we saw it last year, but...
You think he'll puff back up when he signs? Pretty much wherever he signs, just because it's new team, new hype, as long as it's not like the worst hitters park?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of like potential landing spot. I mean, there is still a chance he comes back to Toronto. I shouldn't completely write it off. There is still a chance. But wherever he goes, I see him as a 20 home run, 300 hitter. You can forget about the speed. I don't even think he's attempted a stolen base in like 2 months. But he's a 20.
I feel vindicated on that. I knew he was a shitty runner, and then he had that 25 for 26 year and made me look like a dumbass.
I was on the other side of that. I figured, okay, you know what? He can be a 15, 20 steal guy, but that's like you have to completely write that off. But he's going to lead the league in hits this year by like 20 hits.
Yeah, no, he's dope. The batting average is huge for Bichette. Go ahead.
In a huge amount of plate appearances, too. We're talking 650 to 700 outside of last year where he was I pretty much throw away 2024
lost year.
Bichette. Last year, every other year, the metrics are stable. The games played are stable. 20, 25 homers, 300 batting average in the 9th round. It's a different skill set than what I'm getting from other guys, but I'm taking 4 or 5 rounds of discount over Jeremy Pena there for sure. And over Corey Seager, considering Corey Seager, you know, if you get 100 games out of him, like Bubba said to me the other day, then you'll take it, but that's not a guarantee. Another year of age under him, like give me Bichette 4 or 5 rounds after those guys any day.
And I'm a big Seager fanboy, but I think I agree here, especially with the discounting. And so as much as I do like Seager, I think looking at the discounting of that group, again, 3-round gap, and this is just one draft, but we'll see where these price points settle. I do think Seager, I think Seager, if anything, unless he has some sort of major issue from now until draft season, he's only going to go up, I would think. People will be like, oh, I got to get back in on Seager. But that Bichette, Edwards, Dansby, Perdomo, Jacob Wilson, Tovar group, being 3 rounds cheaper than him, I don't know. They're just more appealing to me. Justin, what do you make of that tier after the 3-round gap there? Again, Bichette to Tovar group. Anyone stand out to you that you really love?
It is such an interesting group. Like I'm not a big Tovar guy. I'm not a big Bichette guy necessarily. I'm really interested to see where Bichette lands. And I was just like, as you guys were talking, I was actually trying to place him. Like where's he going? I think he's a future Tiger.
Oh my God! Don't tease me like that, dude. That'd be so cool.
Like
I know the defense isn't great, but I would love it.
Tiger or the Braves. Like I think.
Yeah.
That would, or maybe even like the Dodgers, and you move Betts back to the outfield, I mean that like
he would be amazing for them. I know it. I just know it. He would.
Right.
He just would.
I mean, but like
he'd go in the 4th round probably if he was a Dodger.
Right. Oh yeah.
Like those are the 3 landing spots I'm looking at because a lot of the other big market teams have a shortstop. Like they're not going that direction.
He doesn't age as a shortstop at all with the defense, but I would take him on the Tigers. I like Bichette. He's so dope. What about what we saw from Jacob Wilson this year with the power advancement? How much of that was a hot streak? How much of that has some heat behind it to where maybe he's not just another Arise, but gives you batting average with some fantasy goodness around it? Because that's always been the problem with Arise, Justin, is that he is average only. He is a band-aid for batting average and then has now fallen into like first base eligibility only, which is even tougher. Jacob Wilson, shortstop eligibility, 10 homers, 5 steals in 94 games with his .312 average before getting hurt. What do we make of Jacob Wilson next year?
I mean, it really depends on where he ends up in drafts, but...
What if it's in this price range? Say 10th through 14th round area. 10th through 13th.
So, let's see. He ended up... Where was he in this
In
one?
the 11th.
In the 11th?
Pick 9 to Ryan Roof.
Like, that's not bad. It's just... It really is batting average only. And I believe in the batting average, and that park will help with some extra homers, but we're talking about a guy that's probably like a 12-homer guy. right? We're maybe 6 or 7 stolen bases.
So you're not buying what he was doing
no.
this year.
I think he got pretty lucky. I also think that park helps.
But they're staying there.
Yeah, and that's why I said, like, I think he can keep those 12 home runs. Like, they moved to Vegas, and they're in, I don't know what the stadium's going to look like in Vegas, but if it's a neutral stadium, like, he may go down to being a 4-homer guy, 5-homer guy. Like,
he has 5 homers home in a way, just saying, Jacob Wilson.
I know.
What's the cutoff on, like, being, quote-unquote, average only? Like, I know we're drawing arbitrary lines. Like, I'm not pinning you to the exact decimal or anything here. But if he's doing, I think I'm more on like the 15 over 12. If he had 10 homers, again, I'm not just going to dead extrapolate 10, from 94 games and say it's near 20. But isn't it more like 13 to 15 home run power? And if it comes with 8 steals and a 300 average, isn't that a pretty good? Isn't that Steven Kwan steals more? Never mind, right? He steals more.
No, he hasn't really been this year.
Oh, okay. I mean, then isn't that Kwan? Yeah, he was 14-12 last year. Isn't that just Kwan?
It is,
and everyone goes crazy for Kwan.
But shortstop is so deep.
True. And outfield isn't necessarily.
And like in that offense around him, it's getting better, but it's not
awesome.
great.
I think it's gonna be awesome next year.
I hope it is. I think it'd be really, really fun to see them just, win 13 to 12 games all the time. But
Severino gonna win the side next year. You shut your mouth.
Oh my god, yeah.
He loves it out there.
I bet my house that doesn't happen. It's like the return's like $30 on a $600,000 investment, But I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but I think it just always leads to roster construction issues. For me, a guy like Jacob Wilson is either an auction purchase, right? Because you can usually get some of those guys like way under value.
Agreed with that.
Or I have built this really great team, and all I need is a batting average right here. And, Jacob Wilson, there we go. I'm not entering a draft planning on drafting Jacob Wilson.
Why not, though? I think I'm gonna. Because...
unless I look at unless I start my draft, and I go, okay,
because you always take batting average risks. Mm-hmm. So wouldn't he be a good supplement to mitigate some of that risk
what
that you take?
Ryan Roof did here? Like, he took Schwarber Raleigh.
Mm-hmm.
And then he took Chandler Simpson, too.
With Chandler Simpson, Keishel, and Wilson.
So this is like the most extreme of both ends, times 2.
I love it.
That's interesting, though.
I love it until one of those guys gets hurt. Right?
Yeah,
all of a sudden,
does it end up all just balancing out, though? It all just balances out at the end of the day,
It does balance out, but until somebody gets hurt. That's the problem is all of a sudden you lose, Chandler Simpson, right? He pulls a hamstring, and you're like, well, I can't make up all those stolen bases now, right? This is the problem.
No, and you don't have to make them all up, right?
Loading a team with one category guys.
Right, and that makes it difficult, but I don't know that it's that different than like losing a big guy who does everything, right? If losing key components is bad no matter what. With Simpson, the thing of it is, and it's just like when he got sent down. Yeah, he got sent down, you lost those steals, you didn't replace him, but he's gotten you 36. Yeah. So if he's getting you the volume at the right rate before anything happens, should something happen, it's not guaranteed. That's okay. You don't have to replace all 36 of them. You have to keep a decent number flowing until he gets back, or if he's gone.
And this is why I said, a guy like Jacob Wilson, I think a guy like Simpson is very similar. I prefer these guys in an auction where you have more control over the way you build.
I do agree with that.
Right?
I do agree with that.
There's no guarantee those guys were going to be there for him. And
no, but
there's only a finite number of those guys in a draft.
But if you're going to make that plan, which I think you should have a plan coming in around that, then you attack them. I'd have no problem taking guys like that earlier. Those standout skills. Now, you guys know I don't love rabbits. I've always made that clear. I don't love the true one category based stealers, which Chandler Simpson is if he's not hitting 299. But he has been a 2 category guy. You do need to replace the power, though. He is a dead 0. And I do think people underestimate how hard that is, because now if you have Pete Alonso with him, that's just smoothing things out. That's just got you to even. Yeah. So you don't get like Pete's extra homers. You're only covering there. So it all does come down to team construction, but
that's kind of where I'm going, though, with this team construction overall. Because like Raleigh and Schwarber, that's 100 dingers potentially.
right?
But then if you even that out with the roster spots of Chandler and of Wilson, like you're looking at, I don't know, maybe it ends up working out. It depends on how the rest of the team plays out. But you're essentially taking away the good that you get from Schwarber and Raleigh with the power. You're taking away the good that you get from Simpson and Wilson with the batting average to some extent. So it ends up becoming more of a neutral as opposed to a team strength in some regards.
Well, no, but you're just getting everything. You're trying to build a balanced team there.
Yeah,
you don't
but
have to be the tops in any category.
I just feel like
Why is it better to draft guys that do a little bit of like I don't mind that, but I don't know why it's inherently better.
I feel like they're just more bankable assets. If I know a guy's going to do everything, like you guys
what's more
mentioned earlier,
bankable than a one-trick pony who has this one standout? That's as bankable as it gets.
A
The one
Paul
thing you
Cameo.
know that Raleigh and Schwarber are going to do, that injury would ruin any team, though.
Yeah, but
You're going to have to deal
so
with injuries all the
when
time.
That's fair, but when it's so specific for Simpson, if it's like a small thing hampering him in his leg,
It's not going to be the only speed guy.
But if you're drafting him, then he is essentially your speed. You're not drafting.
No,
him
he's
in
not. Not if you're a good player. If you ever draft one guy and you don't have any backup, you've left yourself susceptible at that point. I don't feel bad for you. He took Keishel. I would imagine Ryan Roof's a hell of a player. I would imagine he's going to take more speed too. I'm not trying to Rosarena going to get you. Is he doing his 20 thing again this year or no? Is he off that?
He's had a good year. I don't
Where's
know how
Rosarena's
the
steals?
construction has. I think
me
they've been
see.
not too bad.
24. So,
24.
even this team construction through 11 rounds isn't just Simpson. So that's what I'm saying. You don't have to replace all 30 steals or 28, whatever he's had this year. You need to get something. You can't take a dead zero there, but you're also probably going to get more power while he's gone with whatever spot that is, right? So I don't necessarily think that losing this, as long as you haven't put all of your eggs into the basket, I don't think that losing that guy is any different than losing your key stud who contributes to every category.
I guess it's just a personal preference thing.
Sure.
I would just prefer the. Not this isn't a great example for these two guys, but the Brian Reynolds, the Lourdes Gurriel Juniors, where you can count on a little bit of everything. Whereas when you're drafting,
You don't get
Schwarbers
enough though. That's the tough part. If you get too many of those guys, you don't have enough stats. Like you need standouts. Maybe not necessarily like Chandler Simpson. Like again, I'm not trying to sell you on that. But like you need standouts as somebody who's done the get something from everywhere.
I agree with the standouts thing, but my argument would be like if you take Schwarber and then Simpson, it negates the standout of Schwarber's power to some extent.
To a degree, and that's what I was saying with the Alonso. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. Was like it's not a benefit. Now you're getting 25 per spot though, which is what you need.
Theoretically, yeah.
Well,
This is the Billy Hamilton, Chris Carter strategy.
Sure, but with good players.
But also flawed players. Right?
Sure. But Simpson is so much better than Billy Hamilton ever was already. So much better, right?
Fair.
And Schwarber is
At
better
least
than Chris.
as a hitter.
And Schwarber is better than Chris Davis could ever possibly have been.
Absolutely.
So your point is fair and well taken, and I've been against that. So I'm actually arguing against a strategy that I've never really been. I did it once with those two, and it flew up in my face.
My problem with the strategy is it leaves you really, really stranded, especially back then in the speed, but now in the power. If something happens to that power hitter,
No doubt.
Like you can find.
But how is it different than if you lose Schwarber in any capacity? What team construction does that not hurt you? Is my question.
Listen, nobody is a bigger Kyle Schwarber fan than me, right?
Right. I know you love your Schwarbs.
We love.
My argument is
he should not be a first rounder. He absolutely should not.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that.
But if you lose Schwarber on a Chandler Simpson team versus losing him on a team where you took a 20 home run bat in that spot, then the power, it doesn't hurt you as much if you do have that more balanced player. In terms of the power, depends on who the replacement guy you pick up is. But if your team is more balanced, and from my perspective, if your team is more balanced throughout, then those losses that you take don't hurt you as much in those drastic categories. You lose Simpson, you lose Raleigh, then that's a huge loss in that particular category. Whereas you lose the balanced player, the 20 and 10 guy, it's a lot easier to make up.
I think
Feels
this is
like
too
it
my
is.
argument against maybe drafting a Cal Raleigh as high as he's probably going to be going is because the replacement value at catcher is so bad. Like at least you lose Schwarber and it's my util spot that I gotta fill. I'll find something, right?
Because you can put literally anything. Normally I would agree with you, but we did just get done singing the praises of catching his dad.
In a one catcher league, there's gonna be, but if we're playing even a 12-team 2-catcher league, we get 24 names deep. You're not going to be loving your options.
Liam Hicks, Tyler Stevenson, Adley Rutschman, Edgar Caro.
Those guys aren't 24 deep, though.
That's 25, 26, 27,
Oh, well, I mean, Adley
29.
went in this draft was why I'm saying it. Like,
I'm saying, well, that's where they're like, because a bunch of depth emerged. I'm just giving you the player rater right now.
oh, okay.
And I'm saying, like, even in 2-catcher leagues, I think depth emerged. Now, I wouldn't want to lose a catcher. That's exactly why I don't want to. So I am agreeing with you on the principle of it being tougher to replace a big catcher that you lose, pushing back a little bit on the depth of catcher currently. I think we're in a growth state where you could actually afford to lose somebody a little bit more. But again, I'm not taking a first or second round Raleigh. I can't do it. I like what Roof did, though. That's a fun draft. It's a neat build, and it is real, too. So you didn't just do it to get attention.
We also want to, like, point out, like, a lot of these guys are doing this draft to try something, right? They want to, like, this may be the only team where Ryan builds it this way, or
if he doesn't like it, or he says, I love how this turned out. This is going to be my main event blueprint now. Stuff like that.
This is like one of, like, John Fish's, like, 70 million teams. Like,
correct.
Like,
he puts Justin to shame with teams.
Yeah. So, like, if you're looking at the board on the YouTube, and I don't know if you're going to post it into the show notes or not, but like, don't overreact about, like, oh, look, Phil Dussault took this guy here, I've got to take him there.
Right.
These guys are, I mean, this is super early. Like, this is like, these things are all going to change, and a lot of these guys are just really just trying to get their fix in.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they're just trying to figure some things out. They're going, like, not blind, but certainly not fully prepared. So yeah, don't get too hung up on it, and certainly don't take anything for next year from it. Or it's for fodder, for talking points. And again, they're playing it out. It's real. When I say it's real, like, they're playing it. It's not for clicks. But it does also offer us some content. So I appreciate them doing it so that we could chat about it. Let's finish it up next week, guys. What do you say? We could do outfield and then the pitching slots there and a little DH. We do have 3 big DHs, including the aforementioned Schwarber, who we were talking about. He'll be joined by Ohtani and Jordan Alvarez as 3 DH only guys that went in this draft. So let's get together next week and do that. Justin, you and I are going to talk some 2-steps tomorrow. How about that?
Sounds great.
Joe, great talking with you again. Be ready for us next week.
Absolutely. I mean, knowing us, we could definitely split that into 3 different shows.
I mean, feasibly, we could easily do outfield for 1 and then pitching. I mean, we can do a starting pitch. Yeah, we could do 1 for each. Yeah,
maybe you and I run a 3rd episode and we do outfield, just you and me on a shorter app, and then Joe, you and I handle pitching all together, because I think pitching deserves its own.
Wait, you're gonna box me out of pitching? I want to be on that too.
No, I said all 3 of us.
On Thursday. Sorry.
You and I record on Monday.
Oh, we
Tuesday
do the outfield. Right.
God,
okay,
listening.
And then no, you're right. You got me on that one. And then we do pitch. Yeah, I agree. Let's do that then.
I might even be tempted to join you for the outfield show.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that then.
Yeah.
All right. So we might have 2 episodes for the 3 of us next week, y'all. I know we've been light on eps.
Yeah.
They're coming.
I see in the comments, y'all. I hear you. You're not wrong.
I don't read the comments.
I do. I care about our community, so I will.
You tweeted me, I'll see that. You know.
Yeah, he will. He will at least see that. But I'm in those comments. Don't worry. I see y'all. I've also got some solo pods planned that I wanted to do. Little Paul's pods that we might be getting going to. So stay tuned for that. Justin, you and I will be back tomorrow. Joe, we'll set up that time to do 2 episodes. We'll do outfield only and then pitching only. Guys, great talking with you. Peace.
Take it easy.